is Greg Michael. I'm the Executive Director of OnondagaEarthCorps. The OnondagaEarthCorps is a youth development and employment program based in Syracuse, New York. We have our foundation in the grassroots Eli McDonald Green Team and also follow the best practices of Youth Conservation Corps programs from across the country. Our program is based on the idea that youth and young adults in Syracuse can be instrumental in improving civic engagement, restoring the environment, building community, and changing their own lives. Each year, OEC trains youth ages 15 to 25 in soft skills such as team building, communication, job readiness, and professionalism, as well as technical skills in urban forestry, green infrastructure maintenance, environmental education, and community outreach. Once trained, youth are then engaged in real, hands-on projects in their own communities that have lasting community and environmental impacts. Participation in teams on these projects builds the confidence of our youth and demonstrates to the community that youth can be a positive force in revitalizing our neighborhoods. The youth from our program can really stand up and talk about their experiences, and it's really revealing for both our youth and professionals in the environmental field to see young, passionate individuals from some of the most challenged backgrounds really anywhere in the country, and to see that they're right up there in this dialogue about, you know, how we can revitalize our communities and restore the environment. And in some cases, the youth, they know the hands-on, and they know their communities better than some people who have a lot of technical training.
Okay. Hi, my name is Diane Turner. I'm with Southside Interfaith CDC. We started back with the Gifford Initiative. They came on the south side of Syracuse, and we formed a neighborhood advisory committee called SNAG, which was called Southside Neighborhood Action Group. At that time, at the helm, we had hired Stephen Muhammad, was the director of SNAG. We wanted to get the youth involved in the neighborhood, and so our current operation was out of Southside.
So my name is Heidi Holtz. I'm with the Gifford Foundation. In the early 2000s, we went to the south side of Syracuse and started talking to residents and neighbors and people who lived and worked there, and said, in what ways can we help you grow as a community? It was all about really listening to what was happening. During that time, one of the people who came and spoke with us was Eli McDonald. And
my name is Eli McDonald. I'm the founder of the Eli McDonald Green Team, which is now called the OnondagaEarthCorps. I started working at Dunbar Association back in '99, and Mr. Muhammad. Well, me and Mr. Muhammad have been talking a lot. Certain areas of the city was having a lot of gang activities, kids on the streets, not doing any kind of work or just hanging out on the streets. And we talked about the idea that when we was younger, how we got in trouble and how easy it was to get in trouble, but how hard it was to get out of trouble and stay out of trouble. And stuff. He knew that I enjoyed working with the youth, and he was working with the court system, helping the youth in the court system. So the main thing was the idea of trying to get the kids to be independent and be responsible for their money, putting the money in the bank, and having bank accounts and stuff like that, and try to get them to be more independent in life, so they don't have to worry about their parents or anybody else or any peer pressure. Back in 2004, I was given an offer. It was an offer that I couldn't refuse. First, they said that I would be running a crew of 14 youth for the summer for 8 weeks, and we were doing cleanups, yard cleanups, cutting grass, landscaping and stuff like that.
it also put an added touch to beautify the neighborhood. Neighbors in the neighborhood could not cut their grass, a lot of the seniors. So, you know, they started cutting the grass, started cutting bushes. You know, it was like a jungle in some some houses. And I think the neighbors really, really appreciate it.
It's hard, and you know, they're going to give you a fine or something. I mean, it's hard to keep up. Yeah. I mean, he's got his wheelchair and kind of wheel a little bit here and pulled weeds.
Started off with my truck, a pickup truck, moving all the tools and stuff to our program as far as like our job sites. I enjoy the idea that Mr. Steve Harris had us join the Corps network.
Okay. My name is Stephen Harris. I'm the City County Arborist for the Syracuse Parks Department. I was hired by Cornell Cooperative Extension to be an urban forest educator, and one of the roles was to get volunteers, get citizens involved in stewardship. And about 2003, a guy named Robert Breen came to our office and talked to the four of us in Natural Resources about how great EarthCorps are and how we should consider starting a conservation corps in Onondaga County. Not about the Eli McDonald Green Team, and they were already doing work in the neighborhood. They were a crew of 10 young people that lived in the neighborhood. They had a crew leader, Eli McDonald. They had a coordinator, Stephen Muhammad. They had support from the Gifford Foundation and the community. They were already doing good work, and when I went to talk to them about how about adding urban forestry, it became clear right away that we could work together, that it was a natural partnership.
And that was the beginning. And after that point, Steve Harris was with Cornell Cooperative Extension, and he got involved with it, really helped us take it to the next level. It got named the OnondagaEarthCorps. Gifford went into the south side of Syracuse following a particular model called asset-based community development. And the whole point of it is to find who the leaders are in the community, listen to them, help them craft their own future. Everything I just said about asset-based community development couldn't have happened without first Stephen Muhammad and then Amanda Pascal, who are our community liaisons. What was really incredible and kind of magical, and why we really cite this project a lot, is that the right group of partners came together and everyone had the very specific and valuable role to play. So it was Gifford perhaps introducing people to each other, but then when you brought in Cornell Cooperative Extension and the expertise that they lent, and then you coupled that with Diane Turner and Gail Gatewood and their being able to, both through Southside Interfaith CDC, be the fiscal sponsor, but also the one who hired and I believe in the early years held some of the insurance and did a lot of the work around infrastructure, around moving this forward. And Eli McDonald stayed with it, also has been staying with it the whole way, with the training and the expertise. So it's really a group of a number of partners coming together. Eventually, now that Onondaga Environmental Institute became involved, soon EOC is involved, home headquarters, the city, there's just been a number of people coming around.
The Partnership for Onondaga Creek actually started around an environmental justice issue around what we call the Midland Sewage Plant. And it became obvious after about 7 years of trying to get a fairer solution to the combined sewer overflow problem instead of the sewage plant. We realized that the problem was jobs and poverty in the neighborhoods, and we became very focused on making sure that we advocated for the unemployed, the underemployed, and especially the young people. And
we've been able to work with the youth on rain garden projects and different kinds of educational outreach projects for younger kids in the communities. It's been a lot of fun to see the youth develop games and different kinds of outreach products after they've learned the dry and detailed business of science and outreach, and then turn it into something that has their own stamp and their own kind of vibrancy.
This job, I was in AmeriCorps years ago, and I have a passion for service. I have a passion for, you know, cities, and I have a passion for the environment. And this job melds all three things into one beautiful conglomeration of a job where you have
a lot of our youth are what I would term to be as unrecognized, and these are youth that has the desire to do something positive but just need the support, and OnondagaEarthCorps has given that. Part of my position is not just teaching them about green infrastructure maintenance, but about life skills, professionalism, helping them to develop leadership skills. These are skills that will carry them throughout their life with any field that they choose to go into.
Charles's ability to take the work that we do and translate it into life lessons for the youth, from, you know, if you're talking about weeding and you know, well, what can you learn from weeding that you can apply to the rest of your life?
How does that garden compare to their life? And then sometimes I use different analogies about how beautiful the garden can be, the potentials of the garden, but because of the little things that are in there, which are weeds, which we're responsible for removing, as well as litter and other debris, those are some of the things that, you know, I look at with the youth.
That I know Onondaga Earth Corps is making an impact is the parents of the children in our program, which is 11 to 14, when they age out, they ask me, well, how do I get into Onondaga Earth Corps? Because my child would like to be part of that program next. And that feels like a real win, that the parents see this as a real opportunity for their child.
It's that OnondagaEarthCorps offer consistency. And in that consistency, what I mean is that they know when they come, if they come to work every day, they know that staff is going to be there to support them. They know that they're going to learn something. They also know that we're safe, and, you know, we really have their best interests at heart.
I think it's awesome that the youth have an opportunity to interact with the community centers and the younger kids.
They had a program some years back at the 341 Midland Garden, when they gave a demonstration and a talk, and each individual youth talked about the water gardening, water retention, different aspects of Earth Corps, the things that they learned, they shared with us adults, and it was really nice. And they had photos, graphs, and everything, and they kept our attention.
And that even though the youth in the program change over time, for the younger kids, they see an Onondaga Earth Corps crew consistently over the years, so that some younger kids grow up seeing older kids in their community employed doing meaningful work for the community and enjoying that mentorship by the older kids.
Okay, my name is Larry King. I work with Catholic Charities of Onondaga County, and I'm the site director for Bishop Fori Foundation, which we're presently at. I'm standing right next to our rain garden, which we put in about 4 years ago in 2010. It's been a big plus for the agency, because the kids are involved in that. They were involved in helping to plan it, to take care of it. And you see, some of the people in Earth Corps that are coming here providing the information and teaching the class either were part of the program, or they're from the neighborhood, or they have a relative or cousin that are here. So what they're doing is they're passing on the knowledge.
them. Earth Corps came to our garden and helped us get our garden ready for starting the season for planting. And one thing that I liked about Earth Corps, which I still like to this day, is that it had a lot of minority and a mixture of men and young women working this youth program, working with them. And that
for the kids, you know, it's planted now, it's a small tree. You know, as they get older, it's a bigger tree. It's something that they say they actually, it's hands-on. They had a part of. You know, so, you know, when they're older, and these trees take time to grow. You know, maybe 20 years from now, you know, you're talking to your kid, or your family, or your parent, or saying, you know what, I was a part of that. This is something that, you know, kids remember. You know, no matter what it is, you know, if it's something positive and kids really respect what was done and they're involved and they're hands-on, then I think that kind of stays with them.
The education that they were getting from Earth Corps was valuable to themselves and to the community.
I'm a fresh, newborn, free man, I should call it. I was locked up when I was 16. I came home when I was 23. I didn't have no GED, no work skills, period. And everything was new. I went to EOC to get my GED. Along with getting my GED, Miss Carol Hill in the building, she had told me about OnondagaEarthCorps. Applying, and I got the job. I went from planting trees to crew member and untitledly crew leader. And I moved on to going to CCA after the season was over because I'm getting a supervisor position, site crew manager. And I took some of the skills that I learned from watching my supervisor in OnondagaEarthCorps. That was a good time for me, from OnondagaEarthCorps to CCA. And then I came back to OnondagaEarthCorps and got an assistant supervisor position. I mean, the opportunities just back to back. I just felt like we should have just kept going and running with it.
First time when I came here, it was a challenge for me. So how I can find a job, because it's very hard for me find a job here because I don't have any resume, any experience in this country. For me, in America, also in Syracuse, starting with OnondagaEarthCorps was the first point and first start point for me. More than job opportunity, it's educational opportunity. College. Right now I'm studying in OCC College, and right now I have a better house, a good house. So I have my job, I get hired, and I've paid, so I can pay my in everything. I can handle my life, and I'm going to college, and everything is become normal, and it's going a good road.
My name is Zoraida Huertas. I'm on my own now, you know, I have my own place. It really inspired me, it really changed me for the better. OEC is definitely doing something that we need, especially for the kids that grow up in the neighborhoods that we do. It's awesome. Well, definitely help with my communication skills and being able to talk to strangers and people around my community. It showed me a lot that people do care about where they live and things that they want to do. It has inspired me with a passion for nature and keeping things clean. I'm not a litterer. I don't litter anymore. Like, I hate it when people do it around me. I recycle everything. You guys taught me a lot of professionalism, but I had that professionalism that you guys molded me on during the process of working with you, and that really helped a lot.
OnondagaEarthCorps took and made a rain garden for us, and they say that that helps the sewerage when they take different tests. They took different tests, and it's just as clear as a glass. You can see through it. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. We also have the eavesdrops that brings the water into the rain garden. They weed it for us every year, a little shanty that has a grass on top of it that's supposed to be good for the rain too. I think it's great that you're paying them. I think it gives them more of a challenge. You know, they really want to work hard for it. I think more kids should do it. And when they go by the house, you know, I planted in there. We've had a few kids go by.
What I'd like to see in the next 10 years with the Earth Corps is more year-round programming, offer them more of the what's often called wraparound services.
What I would love to see with Onondaga Earth Corps is that we're able to accommodate and address specific needs within the community of our young adults. Whereas that we have housing for them, we may as well as job and opportunity and growing opportunity constantly. Whereas that once they become a part of us, they can last throughout the rest of their life and move on with their life, you know, in any direction. More youth development, I guess.
How cool would it be for Onondaga Earth Corps to be Onondaga County-wide Earth Corps? All 4 quadrants of the city, you know, which I know you're already beginning to do, but even more so. Really working if every nonprofit or government organization that had property to maintain, landscaping to be done, here's a team, here's a model, it's already ready to go. More and more kids being hired, those kids becoming crew chiefs as they've been happening, those crew chiefs becoming, you know, someday the future executive director of the Onondaga Earth Corps. Who knows? So it's a model, and I would love to see Onondaga Earth Corps get that kind of recognition also for sticking with it, like all of you guys have done.
The reason I think the Onondaga Earth Corps is successful, and people like it, and young people like it, is it's about the people doing it. It's about the participants. It's real for them, and it's fun for them, and it's designed for them, and the people that are doing it care about it, and there's good leadership. And
super cold days, super hot days, in the sun burning or just freezing, but you know, you push through it, you do what you got to do, and get the job done.
Congratulations to reaching 10 years. Job well done.
I would like to see an outbreak of programs like OEC and other cities. I hope there's rain barrels at every single house and rain gardens in places where it just floods all the time, and I hope that the sewage overflow is minimized completely and that the best of everything just happens for Syracuse. I just know that the city of Syracuse has a really great community coming out to be the voice, and I know OEC is going to be the loudest of them there, and I thank you guys so much for that, really.